It's the one thing that can make the world okay.
A place for everything in its place. These are our brothers and sisters in Lagos. When he wants to do something bad, it's like I just hear his voice saying, Ura, he wants to do it. And at that point, he had to make up his mind who to kill. Is it easier to kill 2 people or would he kill 5 people?
Obvious that doing the right thing always pays.
Most times we have our choices to make. It's always good to make the right choice.
The entire concept of Konga Yarns is a good one.
Konga Yarns generally has been a very enlightening experience.
Okay, so we're going to do a short question and answer. This is person A, who just tosses stuff on the road when they are done eating, and this is person B, who will wait till they get home before they dump it. Please, how many of us are A? How many of us are A? We just dump things on the road when we are done. And how many people are B that will keep it till they get home? So they... Fantastic. How many of us are these people crossing the roads under the pedestrian bridge? How many of us are these people? These are our brothers and sisters in Lagos, so crossing the road under the bridge. Now, so for as long as I remember, we had a slogan in my house that says, a place for everything in its place. So if you pick up the house keys, it was on a table, and you put it somewhere else, you get in serious trouble with my dad. And so from that young age, I always knew that I had to do things right. And when I want to do something bad, it's like I just hear his voice saying, Ura, you want to do it, and then I just stop. And over time, it has been like a guiding principle for whatever I do. And then as an adult, I heard of you only live once, and I know that it is important for me to get it right one time because I only have this one life to live. There's this story of a construction site driver. He dropped construction materials and he was turning back to pick up new ones. As he was moving, he noticed that his brakes were failing. In front of him, he had 2 people on the left-hand side, and on the right side, he had 5, and the brakes were failing. Wherever he moves to, he was going to kill either 2 people or kill 5 people. And at that point, he had to make up his mind who to kill. Is it easier to kill 2 people, or would he kill 5 people? Wherever he kills eventually, and he gets to court, it will still be that he killed people, no matter the number of people that he killed. How many of us here will kill the 2 people? Because your brakes have failed. Regardless of what you do, you will kill someone. So how many of us will kill 2 people? How many of us will kill the 5 people? How many of us will kill the 5 people? Okay. How many of us know that if your brakes fail, you can turn your truck around to go back into the gravel? How many of us thought of that at that point of panic? The moral thing to do depends on the consequences of our actions. Because at the end of the day, you will still be charged for killing people. So at that point of panic, you should always remember that if your brake fails, you can turn into a wall. How many of us are with the blue team? When we are done using the bathroom, we don't care because we're not paid to clean up. We just leave it as it is, all messy, and we don't care about it. Or how many of us are in the red team? You want to leave the toilet on flick when you're done. How many of us are with the blue team? We don't care, we'll just leave you. We're not paid to do it now. Someone will do it, just leave you all messed up and leave. You don't care if the person after you is going to see it like that or not. How many of us are with the red team? Latif? How many of us are that guy? How many of us are this? How many of us are this person? Okay, this is actually my desk, and I'm proud of myself. You can't see it clearly. You can't see it clearly. Okay, this person has a whole lot of junk on his table, the things that are necessary and the things that are not. This table is full of germs and all the bad things you can think of. And this lady here, this is me. I have only the things that I need on my desk. I don't clutter my workspace. to quote Maya Angelou. She says, doing right may not be expedient or profitable, but it satisfies your soul. You know you are doing something right, even if nobody is seeing you. It's just like you're paying the right thing forward. You're trying your best. You're trying your best to be a good example. We're not people that you think, the people that are there currently are stealing money, and then when I get there, I must chop that money as well. You're an ambassador of all the right things. You want to do good and you want to be right. By doing the right thing, you have to put your best into it. And by that is, if you plan to do something, even if we're trying to, how will I put it now? Say we're trying to, like this Konga Yarns we're doing, you have to put your best into it, preparation, and just make sure that everything you're doing leads to the right thing. The second point I want to make is you have to make each other look good. So we're going to try a little exercise. As we are seated, the 6 people around, or the 5 people around you, are going to create a little story. One person will start with once upon a time, and then we want to see how that story is going to end. Now, each group has only 1 minute, so we'll start with this group. We want a story, and we'll see how we'll do it. No, you don't have to stand up. Please, raise your voice for voices. Somebody starts with once upon a time, and you make one little thing. And then you continue the story. From wherever it starts, you continue the story, and then 5 of you, till you complete the story. And you have only 1 minute.
Once upon a time.
My name is Leila.
You're next now. Continue. I'm younger than me now. Where's she from?
At 18, I met a young damsel.
And it encouraged me to do the best in my life. Okay, and that's... I'm so married. And that made her stand out among her mates.
Okay, that made us stand out, right? But then they helped me that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Alright, so the next 6. So you start.
Once upon a time, there was a fish who was asked to climb a tree. Climb a tree.
The fish climbed the tree and realized he had to jump off. He had parachute with him. Then the fish woke up.
And Puka was next to the fish.
No, Puka is the fish.
So the idea behind the exercise was to help us realize that when someone starts something, innately you are trying to do the right thing to help that person conclude the story. When first person says once upon a time, you do not know where that person is trying to go to. In his mind, he has the end to a story, but you do not. And by continuing, not all those people that were Fafino, by continuing and adding interesting things, you were trying to make the story right. It also shows us that people are collaborative, regardless of who they are, even if they haven't met you before. And that's how lies work. When I start lying and I'm explaining it, you are swallowing it. And if I ask you something, you'll be able to collaborate to my lie, and it will work perfectly. when you're trying to make decisions in life, you're trying to do the right thing. A great example is when you're trying to get married. You have a whole lot of options. A lot of us have a checklist that you want checked out. A lot of people is money. If there's no money, don't even start talking. And this decision is right to you, no matter what anybody says. At a particular time, you don't even hear them anymore. For you, you are doing the right thing, and that's the next best thing in life for you to do. When you make a decision, it doesn't matter if everybody is doing it. Doing things right may not seem cool, but it will work eventually. Even when everybody is doing it right, just keep enjoying and you'll get it eventually. It doesn't matter if anyone is doing it and think it's cool. Even if nobody is looking, do the right thing. Always take responsibility, keep the right perspective. And one thing I'm particular about is if you do not do it now, when will you do it right? And if you don't do it right, who is going to be the person to do it? I'm going to quote Maya Angelou again. One time she says that doing the right thing gives you a sense of protection that no bodyguard can. And I'll give you a real life example. One time, I had the option to sell stuff at the market price. Okay. I had the option to sell something at the market price that everybody was selling it, but it was the wrong price. And so I thought to myself, let's say if I sell this thing for 10 naira, would I get customers? So everybody in the market was selling it for 25, which was the wrong price. And then I said, okay, sell it at 15, see what happens, regardless of if you get customers or not. The first week of sales was horrible. People would think that why you're selling it at the lower price is because it's cheap, it's low grade, or it's low quality. And people kept buying the things that were at a higher price. But over time, people started buying, and then they called to say, oh, why is your price this cheap? And then I had to keep explaining, I just feel I want to sell it at the right price, and I can say that I made more sales than even the people that were selling it, that had it overpriced. I just want to say that in entirety, just do it right, keep it simple, you only live once, and do it right for the one time. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions?
My question is this. You keep doing it right, but you look around you and discover that you seem to be the odd one out. Every other person is doing it the other way, and you begin to ask yourself, why am I even doing it right? So the question I want to ask is, how do you keep doing it right, even when every other person around you they are doing it?
Even when every other person is doing it the wrong way. Yeah. I just said it now, joining the bandwagon will seem cool. However, at the end of the day, it will pay off if you keep doing it well.
When everybody is doing something or going in one direction, you are going in the other direction, which is everyone is doing it in a particular way, which is seemingly wrong or assumed wrong, or you have chosen to stand out and do that which is right. It takes a lot of boldness, it takes a lot of guts, but really want to stand out. I think that's what she's telling us today, that you have to be able to stand and still do it right, irrespective of what everybody else is doing.
My question is, so in light of standing up and doing things right, regardless of how other people are, so how do you measure that you are the right person and not the wrong person? So because you want to stand out and then everybody else seems to be doing the setting to stand standing out? Who is the judge and what criteria do you apply? What should we do?
You know the reason why they are ahead. That's just an example. So whenever that person is crossing on that, when you feel, no, I'm not going to do that, you find the bridge, the overhead. Fine, you spend more energy, it takes more effort, but you know that you are doing the right thing.
Yeah, the right thing is standard for everything. My guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean.
No, I mean, what you're saying is, the way that you're doing it might be right to you, might not be right to the rest. You might think you are standing out, but it's the wrong way that you are taking from the other.
Something else as well. Interestingly enough, as she was talking, a question that came to my mind actually is, how do you know what is right? Which I think is what is happening. And like I was telling Jane and just now, there are some things that society defines as right. There are some things that religion defines as right. There are some things that morals define as right. But we are all human beings. There are some things that we all know that those things are not right. Okay, let me ask you, let me be devil's advocate. Is a man sleeping with another man right? Some things are defined right by society, by morals, or by religion. A religious person will say it is wrong. An American will say it is right because their society supports it. But at the end of the day, there are some things that your society has set as what is right and what is wrong. If your society has defined that crossing the road is wrong, and you have to climb the bridge, then at that point in time, when you're crossing the road, you're not doing the right thing. If you are in a particular society or in a particular environment, there are things that define what is right and what is wrong, and you have to abide by those things. If you are in Nigeria, if Nigerians say this is how you do things, you do things the way Nigerians want you to get it done. If you're a Muslim or a Christian or a Hindu, and whatever it is you're following defines what is right and what is wrong, then you do it and you do it right. So I think, like one of the things she said, whatever you want to do it excellently. If you are in Nigeria and follow the Nigerian rules and do it right. So if you are
in the US,
so if you're in the US, if your morals if your morals align with it, yes you can, because we have Nigerians who have run away from Nigeria to go and work to go and be men. Because they're in Nigeria, they will visit them and carry them to church. So it's a case of what do your morals define as right? What does the society define as right? What does your religion define as right? Those are the things that we need to look at as the answers.
Question. So, yes, it's great to do the right thing always, but what if the right thing at a particular point in time is very costly?
Give me an example of the right thing.
So if you did the right thing at that point in time, it could cost you, something.
So let me give an example. So let me give an example in pedestrian bridge. So you have to be very safe to use the pedestrian bridge. But at 11 p.m., I will not use the pedestrian bridge.
Exactly. So if you know that pedestrian bridge is notorious for at that time.
So at those times, you are applying this.
For me, sticking with what society thinks is right sometimes may not actually work out for you. like okay, look at America. It was okay for women not to vote, or for homosexuals and stuff like that, right? But because of self people that thought that wait, hold on, like what the society is saying is right or wrong isn't okay with me. They fought for it. That's why today women can vote, black people can vote. So sometimes, doing your what you think is right sometimes might not be the best thing, even though everybody thinks you are wrong. So sometimes doing the rules sometimes can be a
Few people that revolted against women not voting and other things, they believe that what they were doing was.
So we're not rounding up. Well, I think as we round up, Zainab, thank you so much for the presentation. I think one important message for me, and I think for everybody else, is it's similar to, or it's related to Clive's question. In life, as we go along in life, there are times where you are faced with choices and you have to choose between doing the right thing and taking a lot of heat and taking a lot of pressure and even a lot of discomfort, or doing the wrong thing and being comfortable. Yes, we can say apply wisdom, like the example you gave, but the reality of life is that there's sometimes that you have to make unpopular decisions. It's something that we all complain about. When we say I'm politicians, that we complain politicians, but the question is, if you were in their shoes, what would you do? Do you know how much money they have access to all the time? And then if you have access to that amount of money, then someone in your family was sick and you needed to take money quickly, what would you do? We discussed with the franchisees and we found out that they would employ a dispatch rider to age. Once the dispatch rider has 300K or 400K for the baby, that would just bail. He will just run away and don't see him anymore. And so it's a case of he will make excuses to say he needs the money. Some people said they use the money to go and do anything, hoping that they will return the money to the franchisee. At that point in time, we could all give reasons and we could all give excuses, reasons that we think are valid. But please, let's always remember that sometimes doing the right thing might not be comfortable. Doing the right thing might not be, it might not make people clap for you. It might not get you an applause. It might not make you the best person in the room. But let's always remember that it is important that we do the right thing, irrespective of, in the long run, to fail. So thank you all very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the talk.
Today's talk was great. I think Zena did a good job. Spoke about doing the right thing always and how doing the right thing always pays. We all learned, one or two things, and I feel like at the end of the day, doing the right thing is clear. It's obvious that doing the right thing always pays, right? It can be hard sometimes, but at the long run, it always pays. And I think the entire concept of Konga Yarns is a good one, because every other month we come here, we get a speaker, we learn, a few things about life, about work, about basically how to make ourselves better.
Today, we talked about doing it right in the Konga Yarns. It was very enlightening. Even though most times we have our choices to make, it's always good to make the right choice and do the right thing. Konga Yarns generally has been a very enlightening experience. We've learned a lot about communication, relationships, cultures, people. Overall, it's been great being a part of this, and I encourage as many that have not been attending to make out time to be a part of it. Thank you, Konga. Thank you everyone that has been in the show. Have a great time.